Alright, guys, today we're going to be reacting to Germany state election results. Explain. The champagne, let's see what's going on.
The election results are in from Germany, but hold on, these are not the national elections we're talking about. Instead, we're zooming in on the regional elections in two eastern states, Thuringia and Saxony. Now you might be thinking, why should I care about some state elections in Germany? Well, let me tell you, these results could be a sneak peek into next year's national elections and might even send ripples across the EU. And wow, these results were fascinating. Imagine this, a far-left conservative populist, yes, you heard that right, left-wing and conservative combined, and a far-right party both scored big wins. But before we dive into the juicy details of these election outcomes and their potential impact on Germany and beyond, let's take a quick detour to explore the intriguing world of German politics. Germany's political system operates on a principle known as federalism. At its core, federalism means that power is divided between the national government, the federal level, and the 16 individual states, known as Länder. Each of these Länder has its own parliament and government, giving them significant autonomy to make decisions on various issues. The federal government also has a parliament, called the Bundestag, and handles nationwide responsibilities like foreign policy, defense, immigration laws, and taxes. Meanwhile, the Länder have control over education, policing, cultural affairs, and healthcare, allowing them to tailor these areas to the specific needs of their populations. This balance of power allows Germany to maintain national unity while respecting regional diversity. In the state elections, like those in Thuringia and Saxony, the residents have the opportunity to vote for representatives in their state parliaments, known as the Landtag. But here's where it gets interesting. German voters actually get 2 votes. To show you how this works, let's dive into a real example from Sunday's elections. This is Thuringia, one of the 2 states where voters went to the polls. Thuringia is divided into 44 electoral districts and will focus on Zummerda, district number 17, as an example. In this district, voters cast their first vote for a direct candidate within their local electoral area.
Wow.
The candidate who wins the most
Look at that. AFD, 42%. Interesting, right? Then the Schultz.
votes wins a seat in the Landtag, securing what is known as a direct mandate. In Zummerda 2, this went to Mr. Xupon from the AFD party. Now, if we look at Thuringia as a whole, 44 seats in the Landtag are filled by these direct mandate winners from each district's first vote. But the second vote is even more important, because it determines the overall composition of the state parliament. With this vote, people choose a party rather than a specific candidate. Now, looking at Thuringia as a whole, most people use their second vote for the AFD, followed by the CDU and then the BSW. To ensure proportionality, additional seats are added to the parliament so that the overall representation matches the proportion of votes each party received. This system balances direct representation with proportional representation, ensuring that both the local favorites and the overall party preferences are reflected in the Landtag. Yes, it's a little over-engineered and a little complicated. But hey, we are talking about Germany here. What else would you expect? So if we add the first vote and the second...
Yeah, so in the first vote, they earned 29. So they had 3, second 11, 12, 15. I guess so. Just to try to give... That means that your government is going to move so slow that it's going to take 50 years to pass something through the legislative branch. I mean, that's a recipe for a very slow government, right?
vote results together. These are the election results in Thuringia, with the AFD as clear winners with 32 seats, followed by the CDU with 23 seats, and then the BSW with 15 seats. As you can see, the far-right AFD emerged as the winner. This outcome might be influenced by the recent deadly knife attack in Solingen, Germany, which tragically claimed 3 lives and left 8 others seriously injured. The Islamic State terrorist group claimed responsibility for the attack, leading to widespread though varied media coverage. Ground News found nearly 460 sources covering this from across the political spectrum and the world. And sorting through their coverage, I can see how the German government is focusing how this attack put a spotlight on the nation's deportation laws. I can either click to read through their coverage or keep scrolling for a broader perspective, like UK-based Financial Times reporting on how the stabbings rekindled the EU's far-right fears. This attack could have had a profound impact on the regional elections, swaying public opinion depending on which to Saxony. The clear losers in this election were the Left, Greens, and SPD, who lost significant support. The left-wing conservative BSW came in third place, securing 11.8% of the vote, which translates into 15 seats. In second place was the far-right AFD, which garnered 30.6% of the vote and won 40 seats. And leading the pack was the center-right CDU, who emerged victorious, with 31.9% of the vote, earning them 42 seats. Now, when we look at both provinces, the standout winners are the AFD, CDU, and BSW. And for those who have been living under a rock, the AFD is Germany's far-right party. Their lead candidate in Thuringia, Björn Höcke, is even more extreme than most within his party. He is even facing legal action for using Nazi rhetoric.
Damn, wow, that's crazy stuff, man. That's crazy, wow. Really? He's that crazy?
In Saxony, the CDU emerged as the winner. The CDU is Germany's center-right party and serves as the main opposition to the current federal government. It's the party of notable figures like former Chancellor Angela Merkel and the current President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. BSW, or Bündnis Sarah Wagenknecht, is particularly intriguing because this party didn't exist only a year ago.
What?
Led by Sarah Wagenknecht, a prominent left-wing politician, formerly associated with the Left Party, BSW seeks to challenge the traditional party landscape. They advocate for a mix of left-leaning economic policies, such as social justice and wealth redistribution, alongside more conservative stances on immigration and cultural identity.
So basically, she's a left-winger when it comes down to economical aspects. But she's like, no, we need to deport people. That's what she is.
The real challenge now is determining which parties will form coalitions in Saxony and Thuringia, a task made especially difficult by the fact that all parties have ruled out collaborating with the AFD. Nonetheless, in Thuringia, a potential coalition could involve the CDU, BSW, and the SPD. And in Saxony, the most likely coalition options are either a CDU, BSW, and SPD alliance, or a CDU, BSW, and Greens partnership. However, forming these coalitions will be challenging, as these parties have fundamentally different ideologies and priorities. Now, you've probably learned more about German state elections than you've ever wanted to. So what does all of this mean for Germany and the EU? Well, in the short term, not much will change. But in the long term, things could shift significantly. Take Germany's ruling coalition, the SPD, Greens, and FDP. They didn't just underperform in Thuringia and Saxony, they did terribly. There's growing pressure on the German government to call for new elections, and these results might just add fuel to that growing pressure.
What?
They didn't just underperform in Thuringia and Saxony, they did terribly. There's growing pressure on the German government to call for new elections, and these results might just add fuel to that fire.
Wow.
And even if they do hang on, Germany's next scheduled elections are next year, which could see them suffer heavy losses. Current polls suggest the CDU will win, with strong gains for the AFD and BSW. And while the CDU remains firmly pro-Ukraine and pro-EU, their talk of tightening border controls could put them on a collision course with the EU. But considering that very few seem to be happy with the European migration plan, this could be seen as a good thing. As for the AFD and BSW, they're even more at odds with the EU. Both are critical of support for Ukraine, and the AFD wants to abolish the euro and possibly exit the EU altogether. So, the next...
This is kind of crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's very interesting politics, right? I like that design that they have in Germany. That's very nice, right? It looks very modern. Like a new, very 21st century kind of design, right?
Year is shaping up to be very intriguing, with Germany, the economic powerhouse of Europe, navigating uncharted political waters. But what do you think? Are you happy with the German election results? Let us know in the comments, and please like the video and subscribe to our channel if you like the content. And if you...
I would love to know what you guys think. I would love to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about that thing about exiting the EU? I cannot see that happening. Germany? Nah, I cannot see that happening. They're too invested. They're basically EU. When I think about EU, I think about Germany and the Netherlands. France, I think about Italy, France, and Spain all together. So if Germany leave, what is the EU's gonna do? What? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. That way you guys can educate me more about how you guys feel about the election. I would love to hear you. Meantime, guys, I'll see you in the next one.